Linda Evenden is a wife and mum of 3, an Elton 39 Club Award winner and a Glennie Award winner. She has earned over $1 million in commissions. She's a 12 Club Rookie nominee and Franchisee of the Year, as well as being the first person to attain 400 Club in Australia and New Zealand history. Linda's passion is helping others ignite their greatness, their vision, and their courage to pursue their masterpiece life. Linda loves empowering parents to create time and lifestyle freedom so they can spend more precious time with family and stress less. Linda loves traveling the world with her husband James and 3 children, Sienna, Grace, and Thomas, who are right down here in front of us, and treasures the flexibility that our business provides to work from anywhere at any time. Can we give a great big juicy welcome to Linda Evenden?
Rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. That we have each other, and for that we have each other.
Wow. And I'm on. Oh, gosh. So my first word that I want to share with you is acknowledge. It's been my word of the week, the month, in fact. So I want to start with acknowledging how far we've come. Just 5 years ago, we were in the Newcastle Town Hall, and it blew my mind. Some of my friends who went before me, I want to start with acknowledging them. Those that paved the way with their heart and their vision. Bronnie, who taught me how to love and accept women, right where they are, for right who they are. That's all Bronnie. When I started this business, I couldn't believe there was a woman in Perth who, with such style and grace and elegance, started a women's call. I didn't know what it was. She told me the power of qualifying on there. That's when I first learnt about the jackpot business. Doesn't everyone know about the jackpot business called qualifying now? It starts with someone caring enough. I wasn't on her team, and that didn't matter. And this is where I learnt about true servant leadership. So, for those who have paved the way, Hillary, Mark, Steve, Tamara, there are so many of you that set my heart on fire at that first conference. And there was only 80 of us, but by God, there was a lot of love and vision in that room. And there's never one person, it's never one moment, it's never one sentence, it's a stacking effect. And you get to stand on the shoulders of giants. That's what we're here for you. And I loved what John Holowody said, because I'd forgotten this bit. Stand for those who are on their L plates, getting doors slammed in their faces. Who's on their L plates right now, getting a few no's and crashing and burning, right? I loved hearing this, because I'd forgotten that. I love to create leadership, and I've been in that realm of leading. But it's the trenches, it's the L plates. This is where we get to make the huge difference. So, acknowledge. I also want to acknowledge every single one of you for being here. Was it harder to come here than easier? Were there more challenges? Who had more challenges to be here than they did reasons to begin with? And would you agree, did you have to dig deeper to find what your reasons needed to be? You needed to draw on a deeper part of yourself. You had to find something else. You had to hear from someone else. So I want you to acknowledge yourselves and each other. Someone stood for you. Would you agree? Someone was persistent and patient on you. And you saw a glint in their eye that they cared enough to say, just come. And you may have thought they're a little crazy. And if my friend didn't stand for me so many times, I wouldn't be here. And then the next ripple wouldn't, and the next ripple, and the next ripple wouldn't be here. So I definitely want to acknowledge each of you for that. I also want to acknowledge the struggle. We don't say stuck in our team. Struggle is okay because struggle is progress. The struggle is necessary. Love and embrace the struggle because that, my friends, is how you grow. It's the only way that you grow. There is no triumph without the struggle. So I want you to acknowledge that every part of this journey that seems to be the challenge, it's calling on a deeper part of you, which is your seeds of greatness. Who absolutely knows that you have seeds of greatness? Come on, look around. We're all born with them, would you agree? We come into this life with seeds of greatness, and it's our biggest gift. So I want to have a little journey. I want to share a few gifts that have helped me on this journey from 5 years. Since the Newcastle Town Hall is where I think of it, because that's where I really launched a rocket of desire, a massive rocket of desire. I want to use this. How great is this stage? There's a lot of stage real estate. I've never seen anything like this, so I was determined that we're going to use all of the stage today. When else am I going to be on a runway? I don't know. So it's these seeds of greatness that each and every one of you have, and that's why you're here. I always say it's never a head decision to be here. It's not logical to be here doing what we're doing. It's a heart reason, and that's what you can't deny. That's what keeps you awake. That's what keeps you hungry. That's what keeps the desire and the head nodding. Who has juice plus brain damage? At 2 a.m. you can't sleep. You're doing numbers and you're working out all of that. This is how I'm going to get here, and this is who I'm going to help, and this is how it's. I've had it for 8 years. It doesn't stop. I'm sorry. But maybe you can just appreciate. Appreciate is my second word. Appreciate. What would happen if we turned all of our expectations into appreciation? It's one of my favorite Tony mantras, and I catch myself doing it all the time. In fact, at 1 a.m. last night, I had a few expectations on what time I wanted to go to bed and how I wanted to prepare for this. And there was a few bumps in the road last night. Apparently people were tripping, all of the power was out. Is that like life? Who knew? The lights went out, it was dark. Some people revel in the dark and had even more fun, right? But what it meant was we were in single file pretty much in the service elevator, one at a time at the casino. And I knew that I was coming to bed, and my beautiful husband, who I want to acknowledge, he loves to party. He is a great reveler, and he loves to be last to leave. It's in fact his name. James is last to leave. So I knew that I was going to have to call on a better part of myself and turn my expectations into appreciation. It only counts when you don't want to do it. Does that make sense? So when James came home after I finally got to sleep, I put the juice plus brain damage aside for 5 minutes. I finally got to sleep. I was so hoping that he wasn't going to come in and be a gobbledoc and eat the potato chips and kind of want to tell me about his incredible night. You know what it's like if you're especially in a party mode and you're coming home and you're trying to be shh. He was a bit like that. So I had to say, this is where the rubber meets the road, Linda. I need to turn my expectations to get back to sleep very quickly into appreciation for my party-loving, amazing husband. So, my friends, it's the emotional muscle when you don't want to use it. Would you agree? So one gift I want to share with you, another gift. Let's have, I knew I was going to do that. Back. Okay, no, we're at the right one. One gift I want to share with you, and we'll get to it, is quality questions. And I want to give you 2 gifts of what I think is a great question. You're going to create your own that matters to you according to your own seeds of greatness. And it's a game changer. It certainly has been for me. I love teaching it. And that's one of the gifts I wanted to share with you today. So I titled this Dream Keeping 101 because I think that that's our greatest gift. First of all, we've got our own seeds of greatness, our own dreams, and we get to nurture those. Would you agree you can't really recognize and serve others if you're not serving yourself at the highest level? This is a big part of the journey for me. I can pretend to on a surface level, but until I really nurture and acknowledge my own dreams and my own greatness, I'm giving you some lip service. So dream keeping starts first of all with your own burning desire, where you stop ignoring your greatness, where you stop stuffing those seeds of greatness down and you try to be ordinary. Who is so sick of being ordinary? Thank God for that. As Mitch would say, can I get an hallelujah? So, the other gift I want to give you is how to bring some speed and duplication into your business and work smarter, not harder. And I saw this on Facebook when I was in the scroll hole. I didn't watch Cats and Cucumbers, but I did somehow come across this extraordinary piece of footage and I went, oh my God, this is just like the Juice Plus business. And this guy is like Brian Marsh. He doesn't look like it yet. Brian Marsh, we all know, is the guy that did 100 Club in like, I don't know. The story is what, it's a year? But there's rumors now, the myth is it's 6 months. So let's stick with that, okay? So why you should work smarter, not harder. Here comes Brian and, oh my God, what the hell's he doing? Who is that guy? Why is he riding his bike like this? He's crazy. And then here we all are, we're rocking along. Here's Nat, here's Tamara, Bronnie, Stevie Coulter, Adam and Kira, they're out the front. We're learning from them, they're amazing. And it's like, oh my God, he is abnormal. What is this guy doing? Hang on, this guy looks like me. Maybe I'll inspire him, maybe I'll annoy him. Maybe he'll play the comparison game and want to give up. Maybe he'll duplicate and learn what I'm doing. Hang on, holy crap, it's Adam. So, my friends, we're all abnormal. Would you agree? You are not choosing the path that's easy. So don't wish that it was easy. This is a major message from me today, okay? Earn it. So the next part of my message is earn it. Now this next little experiment, as I'm going on the scroll hole, you get that I have more lifestyle freedom now, right? I'm on Facebook quite a bit. I'm looking at funny videos. And I love this thing that Tony teaches about your success formula. So it's like a recipe, it's like a cake. Once you know your success formula, you can repeat, repeat, repeat. Once you know your success formula and that there's just a few key ingredients to discovering it, you can give this gift to many others as well. So we're going to cover your success formula. We're going to cover, of course, every presentation I ever do will include questions. My friends are the answers to everything. If you're in a crappy state, it's because you're asking crappy questions and you're getting a crappy answer. And 3 to thrive, because that's another Tony World thing. Chunk things down. How do you eat an elephant? 3 little bites is what you start with. 3 to thrive. 3 things to focus on. So let's have a look at what was Darcy's success formula. I get curious if I see something shared a gazillion times on Facebook. What is it about it? What connects us as humans? What emotions do we feel when we watch a 10-year-old girl entertain the world and bring us to tears? What do we see in ourselves? What do we reflect? What does it bring up? Does it not call on your seeds of greatness that you keep stuffing down because you care too much about what other people think? That might be it. Maybe the tears are for that. Maybe the tears are for what I want to teach my kids is possible. When I said earn it, this is what I meant. When she got that button, so there was the first round of tears where she was overcome. Why was she crying? To me, she earned it. She earned it. It's in all of those hours that no one sees what's happening and what we're doing. I asked 3 of my beautiful kids, can you stand up, guys? Grace, Sienna, and Tom. Yay. So I always test out some presentations on my little guinea pigs. And I asked them, and you know what? The answers are beautiful because it reflects them and their seeds of greatness and their spirit. And I asked them, what could we learn from Darcy? Why do you think she got the golden ticket and she became so accomplished with a puppet? And Sienna, what was your one thing that you said might be? We're hallucinating because we're not speaking to Darcy, we're not interviewing her. But I said, if we could interview Darcy, what do you think one thing could be? What did you say, Sienna? Courage. Courage. Sienna said she would need courage to get up on that stage to do ventriloquism when I'm sure. And I said, do you think a lot of people told her, you can't do that, you're too young? Ventriloquism is for old people with weird dummies, and no one does it anymore. You can sit down. And Grace, what did you say? Practice. Grace said practice. And Gracie, Sienna is so courageous in her life, across her life. Grace said practice. Grace, another word, that's I believe a 9-year-old word for determined. Now Gracie is very determined and practiced. Thanks, Grace. What did you say, Tom? Love. Tom is the ultimate little love bug. Sit down, buddy. So, they're revealing to me their success formula as well. So when I look at that, I can be inspired by what's happening, or I could play the comparison game. It's easy to be inspired because it's a gorgeous little girl. But what we find ourselves doing in this business is comparing and using that to remind ourselves we're not enough, to let the voices come back in instead of inspiration. So the comparison game is great to play as long as you're playing it the right way, to win, to not be less than, to be inspired, in spirit, tapped in, turned on. Your seeds of greatness, no one else's. Did you hear her success formula at the start? I had a dream. For some reason, this precious child wants to bring back the art of ventriloquism. Chances are she had a time in her life where she saw someone light a whole room up with a doll that talks. So, I want to look at your success formula. What can we learn? Let's discover yours. I'm running out of time quickly, but so I want you guys to do some work with me. Would that be okay? If we've got our pens and paper out, would you be interested in discovering maybe the 2 or 3 elements, it's only going to be 2 or 3, that you can take with you as one of your greatest gifts, because it's you. All learning is remembering. I think it was Aristotle that said that. You already know this stuff. But today I'd love to remember it and keep applying it. So let's discover yours. What I want you to ask yourself, and then your buddy next to you, and just have a think. Don't overthink it. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be huge or monumental. It could be really small. But I want you to think about what was something in your life that you thought once was impossible, that you've now achieved. It's now here in your life. Okay, I want you to think of that and write it down. Maybe you've got a 2. If you're an overachiever, find 2. Then once you've got that first one, what were the main beliefs? What were the main qualities? What made that happen? What did you dig deep in your seeds of greatness? What did you have to call on? What was uncomfortable? Chances are there was a struggle at first, and you had to dig deeper and you had to take something to the next level. Maybe some divine grace, maybe some courage, maybe some faith, maybe some love, maybe some practice, maybe some more vision, maybe trust. What were your unique beliefs and qualities? Okay, now I'd love you to give yourself a gift and your neighbour a gift. And I'd love you to share. I'd love you to recount what it was. I want you to acknowledge. I want you to appreciate both yours and theirs. And I want you to really think about and acknowledge what were your beliefs and qualities. Go. 4 minutes. Okay, now we're going to create something so cool that if, my friends, you remember to use this when you are down and out and stressed and fearful and not having fun and you're asking all the shitty questions about yourself. Why aren't I enough? Why can't I go as fast? Why am I getting so many no's? Why can't I do this? What I want you to do is reframe, flip it around, and ask what I love to call is the ultimate question. It's not just a great question, it's the ultimate question, because this, my friends, can set you free. In a moment, in a week, in a month, if you can practice this question like an emotional muscle that literally, for me, it has set me free. Tony Robbins talks about the concept of a primary question. It's something we ask ourselves over and over and over from when we're just a few years old. And mine used to be, what did I do wrong? So it meant that everything I reacted to, I was seeing what I did wrong. A big trigger. We don't have enough time to play in that whole area today of what your one is, but they all boil down to about 10 major shitty questions that most of the planet come back to about not being enough. So what you can do is break through that, catch yourself, and ask a better question, and everything changes. Because the truth shall set you free in a moment. You can't unsee it, you can't unhear it. And if you have the courage to keep asking this question until it's second nature, you can change your life every single day and those around you. So how do we create the ultimate question? It's kind of like a combination of the ultimate question and the success formula. We've basically done this. So if you've got one or two achievements in your life that you are most proud of, now maybe we could stack this. Is it different to your original one that was first impossible, that now exists in your life? Now, when I was creating this with my coach, she asked me this question, and it had a stacking effect for me. What are one or two achievements in your life that you're most proud of? And what I said to her was, having my mum and dad come to Fiji for a week of paradise to be with one of my best friends where I was 15 years ago, where my life first changed. That it was a dream for 15 years that they would come, and I was patient and persistent and determined. I had faith, I had vision, I had courage, I had compassion. So I began to understand my success formula. So if you have another event that there's maybe a new one, a new part of flavor that you wanted to add in, because for me, I had to add in compassion. Compassion is a big word for me, and it helps me every day. I needed mum and dad to trust and see my compassion, that I wanted things to be better for them. Does that make sense? So it's this second part of the question, which is why I am putting it up here for you. Not to confuse you, it's to add on to the foundation we just laid. So maybe there's another value, another part that you can bring in, because what we're creating is this beautiful success formula. It's like the cake. You can sprinkle in and a dash and a pound and those funny little recipe things. So have a think about 1 or 2 achievements. We've got 1 more minute to spend on this that you are most proud of. And again, the question that we ask is, what were the qualities that helped you make that happen? What would the people around you say about you? If you're so hard on yourself right now and you're finding this challenging, there's a few of you I know, what would others, if you could allow yourself to be kind to yourself for a minute, what would others say about you? That is your seeds of greatness, that's unique and special about you. What would they say? Maybe ask your buddy. Maybe ask the Glinda who stood for you, and that's why you're here. So 2 minutes to stack this. Some music, please. This, I promise you, my friends, this was a risk for me to try and do this and squeeze this in, but I really, really thought about what's a gift to give you so you can stop. You can stop the beat up every day. We all do it. So this is how we bring it together. How can I use even more of my faith, vision, courage, kick-ass determination, and compassion right now? How can I use even more of it to rock their souls, to create change, to have more fun, to inspire myself, to lead people with heart? How can I use even more of my 1, 2, 3, 4? Are you with me? Could you try it on like a new suit? Might feel a bit weird because you're used to asking the crappy question that feels so good. Get on the runaway crappy train to I'm not enough street. How can I use even more of my? Can some of you call out what your 1 or 2 50-cent words are? The big ones that you love, that when you actually came up with it and owned it and acknowledged it, appreciated it, accepted it, you actually thought, yeah, I am bloody that. I do rock that. I don't even have to look for that. I actually am that. We're what? Determined? Persistent. Bold, courage. Now they're on a roll. Look at them popping. More? Love. Strength. Adventure. Commitment, conviction. Humility. Forgiveness. Wow. What was that V word? Vibration. There's a universal spirit. Positivity. Enthusiasm. Stubbornness. Relentlessness. You know you're stubborn and relentless. How could you use that fella in this business? Hairy? And Art, everything that I know about you, you're a giant caring love bug. You're one of the originals, caring. So can you guys see the power in, instead of looking for what I'm not and trying to search for that every day, which really just reinforces I'm not enough, that you can go within and say, how do I use even more of my greatness to rock whatever it is that I'm doing? Can you feel how different every moment can be when you're courageous and persistent and determined enough to really begin to use this emotional muscle? It's easy to do when we're in a high energy good state. It's not easy, like last night at 1 a.m. when the gobble-dot came home. I wasn't resourceful, I'm going to tell you, but I thought about doing this question. I contemplated it. That's progress, right? Find what's good. What's bad is always available. It's everywhere. Find what's good. Acknowledge progress. So, who's already shaping their success formula? And this rockin' question. that from here forward, as you design the future that you want and you stack the effect of the leadership panel and caring for others, and you make appreciation bigger than expectations, and you make the one story that you already have of why you're here, or the one customer who already had faith and believed in you, whose life is changing. When did that not be enough? When did that stop being enough? The stories, the privilege and honor we get in this community. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an emergency physician or nurse, or I don't need to be to see the profound impact of lives changed every single day, some lives saved. I don't need to be a doctor. I just need to care more than my discomfort. Does it make sense? So this question, how can I use even more of my boldness, adventure, vibration? Can you hear how each word has different meanings for people as well? That's why it's your success formula. It's the part of you that you already had. You kind of were born with it. Does it make sense? So, has everyone got theirs? You guys don't look excited enough about the ultimate question that can change your life. So mine is, how can I use even more faith, vision, determination, and compassion right now? And when I find myself in the lower energy state and I want to go on the runaway train to I'm not enough and what did I do wrong, I can go, no, old friend, we're not doing that today. I'm standing right here in my power, in my God-given gifts, and it's not about me. It's about serving and attracting the many and creating things together, because it's never just one. We're all connected, right? So I'm flashing 3 to 5, we can do this really quickly. First of all, you just did a lot of work. Would you agree? Who's committed to at least for a week trying this on? Like a power suit, like really something that can change things and propel you forward. And I want to hear some of the messages, and some of the most important thing about asking this question is what? Answering it. You've got to answer it. You mightn't like the answer, because the answer might say something like, oh, you forgive. Be kinder to yourself. Come from gratitude. Take a bath instead of doing that. Tell that person you love them. You mightn't like the answers, but if you can keep doing that work, the better questions will give you better answers, and you will start to be addicted and obsessed in the right way. Does it make sense? So, the 3 to thrive that I'm finishing on right now. What are 3 things? This is how easy life is. We love to make it complicated. What are just 3 things based on everything you've heard for the last 2.5 spectacular days that you need to stop doing immediately in your business? Is it complaining? Is it comparing? Is it Facebook poll scrolling? Is it asking why you're not enough? Bad questions? Procrastinating? Letting others' opinions direct you? What's 3 things that if you stop doing that, if you got not one other thing out of this entire conference, but you know that if you actually stopped doing those 3 things, your business would change dramatically and your life would change dramatically. Would you agree? Can everyone think of 3 really quickly? Of course you can. They're our friends, aren't they? And more importantly, what are 3 things that you need to focus on, add in, start doing? What if you made these 3 things, you were laser focused on these? Everything else would fall by the wayside. It wouldn't matter. 3 things. Is it stop focusing on yourself? Is it start focusing on appreciation and acknowledging and appreciating every single customer, every single team member, that they're enough right where they are, that their story is enough, their story is everything? What's another thing that you could add into your business? Is it fun? When I added in fun into my business, everything changed. What else? Has everyone got 3? So 3 things you're going to stop doing, 3 things you're going to start doing, or way more focus on. Okay, I'm going to finish there, but before I do, I just want to give a magic moment to 2 people who have been absolutely tireless, bringing together the most overwhelming, spectacular conference experience for us. They work tirelessly every single day in our businesses, 11 o'clock at night in Facebook groups, answering questions. I know from how many comments people have said to me how deeply people's lives are impacted because of comments, hallway conversations, coaching calls. Lindy Boswell and Celine Egan, can you come up, please? Can I get a juicy ovation on the chairs? Lindy, Lindy, Lindy. The ultimate dream keeper. Like all you've got, give it to these 2, please. I bow to you. I absolutely bow to you. I want to make her ugly cry. Ugly cry. We love you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.